Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Jason Wan here, lifestyle physical therapist. I am just genuinely excited because it is the last live stream of 2025. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we start you guys off on the right note and off to a good new year, offering better health, better mobility, better strength, and less pain. So if you are here right now, go ahead and comment the word live. Would love to see who is joining us live. And if you're joining us on the replay, still comment below. Let us know that you're watching the replay. Because today I want to go through a few different topics. One of them is if you're coming into this call and if you're on our email list, you'll see that we've offered up some free coaching today. So if you have any specific questions on how to get rid of pain, how to improve your strength, your mobility, overall, how to improve your overall health or lifestyle or well-being, I want to know. So definitely comment below. We actually have a couple questions that came in, and I'd love to offer up those questions out loud for some of you that can't make it. And secondly, I actually just came out with a brand new neck and back pain relief Kickstarter. So this is the perfect program for somebody that is one, short on time, two, wants something that is relatively low cost that will allow you to significantly reduce your neck and back pain. And number three, if you're somebody that requires minimal equipment, you really don't need a lot of equipment. All you need is maybe some random weights at home. You can even just grab some weighted objects. There are some exercises that require a foam roll, and a foam roll is relatively low cost too. It's like $15 to $25. And so if you want access to this, let me know. Comment the word Kickstarter below, and I'll send that to you directly. But at the same time, it is in the description too. So if you are watching right now, today is December 29th, 2025. I'm offering this up for $50 less. If you use the code New Year 50, that is New Year 50 with no caps, not with no caps, with no spaces whatsoever, you'll get $50 off of the program, and you'll be able to get this for less than a cup of coffee a day. So if you've been having some chronic neck and back issues, you know my story of how I had significant chronic neck and back issues after a car accident that I tried over several $1,000s worth of different treatments, different creams, different medications, different manual therapy treatments, couldn't figure it out. And these exercises that are directly in this Kickstarter program are all exercises that I can vouch for. And I've said that this has significantly reduced my neck and back pain. So if you're interested, again, go to the link in the description. The Kickstarter link is right there. And you can use the code New Year 50 in order to get access to that. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to comment and let me know if you have any. All right. So let's go ahead and let's go into a few different topics that have been sent to me via email or direct message for people that want to get these questions answered. All right. Before I do that, I'm just dropping the link into the comments, and then also the code if you're interested. And this is less about me generating any sales, because I made this at such a low cost that at least you have some skin in the game, and if you purchase it, you are going to get access to exact exercises that have helped me significantly, and I still do it today. And you are going to take it a little bit seriously, at least if you know that it's not free, which you saved like free YouTube videos, free Instagram videos. We know that we tend to not use them, right? So for less than a coffee a day, a 6-week program might be the right kickstart to the new year, 2026, to have significantly less neck and back pain. All right. Let's go into our first question here. And I'm going to actually type out these questions that actually were sent to me, which was, how can we significantly reduce neck pain on a daily basis? What is at least 3 different strategies? So let's talk about that. 3 different strategies for neck pain. Okay. All right. So if I were to boil it down, because I take a very multifaceted approach, what is going to be the best ways to significantly reduce my neck pain today? The very first thing that I would think about is not sitting still, because usually people's necks hurt when they are sitting at a computer for a long period of time, they're on their phone for a long period of time. Sometimes your neck hurts when you just get your head off of the pillow because, hey, guess what? You've been sitting still or lying still for 6 to 8 hours. So if you move your neck, your shoulders, as well as your upper back significantly more throughout the day, that is usually the easiest bang for buck thing to do. And really, it's even randomized movement. Like, obviously, if you purchase the Kickstarter, you're going to get these exact exercises, exact video demonstrations, exactly how much to do. You're going to know exactly what to do to get these areas moving. But even if you just like swung your arms back and forth, right, just side to side, even if you just did some neck rolls, even if you just did some shoulder rolls, even if you like kind of raise your arms up and you just started like raising it up, shrugging up and down. Let's say you start to rotate your torso back and forth. I mean, even just those things, even side bending. So I'm just teaching you a few, like there's side bends, there's rotations, there's flexion forward and extension backwards. If you just start to promote more motion throughout your day, let's say you even set a timer for every hour, for example, or let's say you put a sticky note onto your computer and it just says, hey, Sarah, which would be your name. Hey, move your neck, shoulder, and upper back way more than you usually do. You'll probably have far less pain because usually just things get so stagnant. And it's this vicious cycle of less movement because you're in more pain, right? And so if you can reverse that where you have less pain throughout the day, that might motivate you to move more, right? But you kind of just got to bite the bullet and you just got to say to yourself that my potential sedentary behaviors and sitting still and keeping my neck still and my shoulder still and my upper back still, that is not doing any good for your body long term. So if you can reverse that simply by just saying, I need to move more. I literally, for 2026, I need to move my body more. I mean, that's why I'm standing on a treadmill right now, because I want to get more movement throughout the day. A strategy, if you want to know, that I actually tell all of my clients is try to make your sedentary activities active ones. So whatever in your life is sedentary, try to make that active. So if you sit at a desk, well, don't sit, stand. If you can walk at your desk, that's even better, right? If you can take your meetings and sometimes you sit on a couch while doing your meetings, well, try pacing the house. Try putting some Bluetooth headphones on and then try pacing the house and taking your meetings on the go while moving, right? Can you take your meeting at a park? Can you walk around your house at the minimum and make all your sedentary activities more active? It doesn't take like an expert like myself just to say, well, if I can convert some of my activities where I'm sitting still and I can make it more active, that significantly reduces pain right there. And you don't need to hire me for that. But of course, like I said, the Kickstarter is available to you. Like I said, the Kickstarter, if you type in the code New Year 50 into the link that's in the comments right now or in the descriptions, you'll get $50 off. It does expire, right? Because it's New Year's. It does expire December 31st. Okay. So for less than a coffee a day, you can get this great program of all the exercises that I use personally. Okay. All right. So that's number one, is just move your body more. Number two, realize that your neck does have to get stronger. Like if for example, let's say you're a running athlete right now. Let's say I know a lot of people that are running athletes. So their legs actually have good endurance, but their neck hurts all the time. And you wonder why that is. And the reason why is because the neck is something that we don't train. We train our legs, like we run all the time to get our quads, glutes, and hamstrings. It has more blood flow. It gets more stimulus, right? Because we like to run. There's not a lot of people out there that say, I like to strengthen my neck, but you should like to strengthen your neck and the surrounding muscles because that is the thing that's going to help you get out of pain. So one of the biggest things that helped me get out of pain was simply a weighted shrug. I grabbed a set of dumbbells and I just started strengthening my neck over and over again. I did like maybe 3 sets of 8 to 12. I was pretty consistent with that. And within just 2 weeks, my neck was significantly better. Just by saying to myself, well, I don't care if I enjoy strengthening my neck. I just know that my neck needs more of a stimulus. I need to strengthen my neck so that my neck can hold up against gravity better. So my neck hurts less when I'm, like driving. You know how some people they hurt themselves like they drive, and then even the momentum and the carryover, like driving back and forth, right and left, even that's enough to create like minor whiplash, right? And so we fail to realize that like strength training is like one of the biggest catalysts of pain relief. It's what I prided my whole entire program and coaching program off of over the past 7 years being in business. Like I quit my corporate job. I started my own business because a lot of these other physical therapy practices were these super easy corrective exercises. It didn't challenge my patients the way I wanted to. So I started my own program. I started my own coaching program called the Pain Free Academy, which is something like, obviously they were Kickstarter, a lower cost program. Our Pain Free Academy program is a significantly larger and more robust coaching program. But those are the things that really helped me, was realizing that these easy corrective like chin tucks and like, band rows, that's stuff that my grandma can do. And if you're somebody in your 30s, 40s, 50s, like if you guys can realize like in your 30s, 40s, 50s, your body is still capable of doing amazing things. Like, yeah, maybe your teens and your 20s were like your glory years, but yeah, we get way more sedentary and our body breaks down, at that time. And our body doesn't break down because of age itself. It breaks down because of the lifestyle changes that we've had. We have kids, we have a full-time job where we're sitting more still. Netflix is more available to us than anything. Amazon, we don't have to go to we don't have to go to a store to pick up stuff. Everything's sent to us. So life and society has made us more sedentary, right? It's made us sit still more. So number one, like I said, is just move your body more, way more for 2026. Make that an effort. Write it down somewhere. And number two, realize that whatever parts of your body hurts, even if it's not the neck, but you have to significantly strengthen that area. These muscles right here, which I've worked really hard for, these muscles around my neck, I can do a near 400-pound shrug. I can shrug a barbell for 400 pounds. This is not to show off. This is just to say that one of the things on why I never get whiplash anymore, why I rarely, super rare, it's like once every 6 to 12 years, why I never strain my neck anymore is because I strengthen my neck consistently. All right. Okay. Number three is significantly improve your sleep quality, right? Like sleep is the most underrated recovery tool. And it's something innately that we've done since we were born, but we've done far less of it because more blue light, more stimulation, less of this need to like, I don't need to sleep, right? Because like I need to get work done. American society is all predicated on like success, right? And I'm built that way too. I want success in all aspects of my life. But at the same time, it's like, because life moves so fast and because American society is all predicated on like this American dream and stressing your body till it breaks down and career is everything, is that it put a lot of strain on our body. And a lot of times we don't realize that we need to recover just as hard as we train. Like I train extremely hard, but I used to train extremely hard on sleep deprivation and my body was just shutting down and I was like lethargic. I had extreme malaise. My body really started to ache more. And when I realized that sleep was the thing that cleared out all this debris out of my brain, when it allowed my muscles to regenerate and to build bigger muscles, because we regenerate muscle and joint tissue in our sleep, right? So if we're only sleeping 4 to 6 hours a day, we're really not doing our body some good justice, right? So how do we mitigate sleep? Obviously, I talk about this in my Pain Free Academy course. And if you want, go to DrJasonWonPT, learn more about how we help our clients. We specifically help busy parents and professionals to eliminate pain long-term, but sleep is a huge part of what we give to our clients. We create them good mobility routines before they go to sleep. We promote different things in order to improve our parasympathetic overdrive while decreasing the stress going into our sleep. We teach our clients how to journal things and how to get kind of like all this debris and all this information out of our brain so that we can get more sleep soundly. But if I were to name 3 things, it would be more movement, right? For neck pain. It would be strengthen our neck. and then it will also be optimize our sleep, right? Because ideally we want to be getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. And if you are on your phone, you know, like 10 minutes before you go to sleep, if you're like continuously, or if your body's in pain before you go to sleep, that's going to disturb your sleep as well, right? So I think, again, the Kickstarter is an amazing thing to trigger more sleep, right? If you move your body more, if you follow the exact things in that Kickstarter program, which is in the links in the comments, you'll get way more sleep. You'll feel less stressed because you're in less pain. And like I said, it's for less than a coffee a day. So I keep pushing this because it's a brand new program that I just created last week. And I'm giving this to all of you guys dirt cheap. I'm not sure how long I can keep this cheap for, but you know, I wanted to give this to you. Like, this is my gift to you, my Christmas gift to you, my New Year's gift to you, to at least get the ball rolling, right? You have nothing to lose. Is the New Year Kickstarter, right? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's dive into some other topics I heard about. Weight loss. Okay. So weight loss. What are 3 strategies for weight loss? This is going to be a huge one as well. All right. So let me type this out. This was going to be one of the key things that one of my clients said, hey, I won't be able to make your live stream, but please talk about this topic. All right. So weight loss, let's break it down into 3 things, okay? And sometimes weight loss is more complex than this. But number 1, I would say, is just caloric deficit. We have to realize that if you don't understand that it is somewhat of a numbers game where you can literally calculate out the amount of protein or the amount of calories necessary to lose or like to start dropping body weight and body fat, you can't, it's very hard to wing. You can be as intuitive as you want to. I've actually read a book called Intuitive Eating, which I'm in agreement with. It's getting back to our native kind of physiological mechanisms and behaviors that allows us to get back to a healthier body weight. But I also think that I'm also big and objective. So if you have numbers kind of speak for itself, where you know for a fact that this amount of food going into my body, if I burn more than I'm consuming, then you are going to start losing weight. So just knowing those numbers and knowing the calculations, if you want to know, it's like caloric output equals your resting metabolic rate, which makes up about 50 to 75% of your resting metabolism. Number 2 is your exercise activity, which makes up anywhere between 10 to 30%, because we really only exercise for 30 minutes to an hour. So exercise is a part of calorie consumption, calorie expenditure. And then you also have something called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That is the amount of calories that we burn just through doing day-to-day activities. So as I'm typing and speaking to you, I'm burning calories right now. As we're sitting at a desk, you're burning calories there. Going to the grocery store or doing chores, that's not planned exercise. So that's all considered non-exercise activity. So an example is like a construction worker will, because it's part of their job, that will make up a significant amount of their calorie expenditure because they're moving and lifting for 6 to 8 hours straight, right? Versus somebody that sits at a desk, their NEAT or their non-exercise activity is much less because they just sit at a computer. Okay, that's why a NEAT for a construction worker is far greater and has way more effect on their calorie expenditure versus somebody that sits at a desk. Okay, that's why I said that in the beginning, like when I talk about neck pain, is try to make a lot of your sedentary activities active ones, right? It's not just going to reduce pain, it's also going to help you with your weight loss journey as well. Okay, number 2 is strength training. Okay, people don't lose weight on cardio, right? We can improve our heart health on cardio, hence why it's called cardiovascular health. That's for a different topic. But strength training allows you to burn more calories at rest. So the more muscle mass that you build, your resting metabolic rate goes higher, right? So for every pound of muscle that you gain, it is an additional 5 to 20 calories burned per day. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but muscle is our most metabolically active tissue. So the more muscle that we gain, the more that you're able to afford eating more, but also you burn more at rest, right? That's why people like myself, where like I maintain a pretty low body fat percentage, but I strength train significantly every single week. That's why I'm able to eat a lot of food, but not really gain a lot of weight, right? And that's the same for a lot of people that have way more muscle mass to fat ratio. Okay, so strength training should take precedence over cardiovascular activity if you're looking to lose weight. And yes, you can get in your typical 10 to 15,000 steps a day, which is what we see on our Fitbits, or it's what our watches like require out of us. It's like, it's the standard, it's 10K. I agree with that. But there's a significant amount of people that think walking alone or cardio alone is going to help you with your weight loss goal. It is a supplement. It is an adjunct, in my opinion, in my strong opinion, that strength training takes far more precedence than getting your 8 to 15,000 steps. I know that I've lost 25 pounds strictly doing strength training and a little bit of basketball on the side, and I paid far less attention to getting those steps in. Okay. Yes, you can add those steps, but take precedence is strength training. Okay. Number 3 is make sure that you get in a significant more amount of protein. Okay, that's number 3 for weight loss. Protein is going to have something effect on this other part of the calorie expenditure equation, which is called TEF. It is called your thermic effective food. That is where it accounts for about 5 to 10% of your calorie expenditure per day. And what research shows is that it takes far more effort for your organs and your digestive system to break down protein versus carbohydrates and fats, which means that it takes energy. You're expending calories to break down a piece of steak or chicken breast over like your cereal or your rice or your oatmeal, right? Though, yeah, sure, like whole carbohydrates. Yeah, I think carbohydrates is necessary so that you have more energy to do strength training. But if you're not getting enough protein, 1, you're not building enough muscle. 2, you're not increasing your thermic effective food, which is a 10% part of the calorie expenditure equation, where you want to maximize as much calorie expenditure as possible, especially if you're on a fat loss journey. Just to reiterate for some of you guys who are joining in, number 1 is caloric deficit, and just understanding that numbers to me speaks volume. It speaks everything with your weight loss journey. Number 2, number 2 is strength training, right? So taking strength training and making sure that is like the main bulk of your time per week or per month should all be spent on strength training, and not necessarily deprioritizing, but yes, to some degree, like if you've been just walking and doing a lot of cardio, strength training should take precedence over that other mode of exercise that you have been doing, right? And number 3 is getting far more protein. Okay, like if you can get that all through meats and foods and like natural foods that are in the grocery store, amazing, great. Continue that process. You need to usually be getting at least 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight in the form of protein. So if I'm 150 pounds, I want to get in at least 120 to 150 grams of protein. If I don't, then I'm not increasing that thermic effective food, and I'm also not rebuilding the muscle tissue on our bodies after we've broken it down through strength training, because strength training breaks down the muscle tissue and sleep and protein intake, and also getting enough carbohydrates, right? And refilling our glycogen stores. That is going to signal to our body certain enzymatic pathways that's going to build more muscle in our body while also decreasing our visceral fat. Okay. All right. So hopefully that was really helpful. The last question here. Okay. So last question here is, and this one's like, I love this one because I speak about this in my podcast. It's the last one I'll talk about. Number 3, straight up, is just how to be consistent. I don't know if I'm going to break this down in terms of like 3 steps to be consistent, but I want to give you a few different things that I do myself that I've also shared with a lot of my clients, is just how to be blatantly consistent. I mean, there's so many people that know what to do. They know how to do it. They've done things that have helped them be successful in the past. They've been on a good diet program in the past. They've strength trained in the past and they got good results, but all of a sudden life got in the way, right? Other things took priority. and then therefore you either regained all the weight, your pain came back, you injured yourself, right? And you're wondering like, it's likely because I was inconsistent. So how do I stay consistent? I'll tell you this, and if prove me wrong. Like, I think for myself, I don't know a lot of people in my life that are more consistent as a coach, as a strength coach, a pain relief coach, but also a person that just cares deeply about my own personal physiological and muscle and mental health and my physical health. Okay. So how do I stay consistent? The very first one is I always just schedule things out. Like if I go on vacation, it's in my calendar. I know an exact time I want to work out. I know the exact location. I know where the gyms are. If I'm like near a hotel, I know the certain hotels that have a gym. I'm going to Japan soon in March, and I already pre-planned the fact that like I want a gym to be either walking distance or I want the gym to be in a hotel. I already anticipated that. How I anticipate even more is like, okay, well, on Tuesday, I'm going to do legs. I'm not just going to say I'm going to work out, because the uncertainty of just saying workout number 1 on Tuesday, workout number 2 on Wednesday, is there's still uncertainty with that. You don't even know what you're going to do that day, and you're just scrambling. So what I do is like I specifically plan out the exact muscle groups I want to hit. I know the exact exercise I'm going to hit. I know I'm going to do cardio on this day and strength training on this day. The more detailed you can be, the more certain you can be about actually getting it done that day. Because you could schedule it out and then completely just negate your schedule. You just say, oh, I got too busy, so I'm going to skip leg day. So many people do that. So scheduling it out is really important for consistency. Number 2, you need triggers, especially if you know that your habits are not sound yet. If you want your habits to be like mine, which is like a 9 to 10 out of 10 all year round, but you know that your consistency, if you rate it, and let me know in the comments, what has been your consistency from 1 to 10? 10 being super consistent, and then 1 being absolutely brutally inconsistent. Let me know in the comments. Be truthful. Let me know why, right? So I can support you. But if you want to get your consistency from a 1 or a 2 to a 9 or a 10, okay, then what you have to realize is that sometimes when you know your habits are not there and it's not subconscious like me, then you need to apply triggers. And what triggers are is the first phase of a habit. The 3 phases of a habit is trigger, action, then reward. Remember just the first letters, T, A, and R, TAR. Trigger, action, and reward. You need a certain visual, auditory, or somatosensory trigger. I'll explain what those are in just a minute. Then you take the action. The action is going to be actually you doing the exercise. And then the reward is you realizing all the physiological, hormonal benefits of doing exercise, right? You're happier, you're in less pain, you feel warmer, there's more blood flow, everything, right? Every benefit that exercise gives to it. But a visual trigger would be that if I'm saying, like, if I do something like this, and that's your visual trigger to do like jumping jacks, for example, then whenever you see this, that's your visual trigger. A visual trigger could be you put a sticky note on your computer, and the sticky note says do 10 push-ups every hour. So every hour on the dot at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., I'm going to do 10 push-ups, because the sticky note itself is a visual trigger, okay? Auditory triggers are alarms, right? Or music. Or if you record your spouse's voice and your spouse's voice says, honey, do 20 squats. I literally had a trigger of my wife because I was not getting good sleep many years back. And the trigger went off at 10 p.m. every night. And it would say, you need to go to sleep, wind down the day, chop, chop, pork chop. That was legitimately a voice recording of my wife that went off at 10 p.m. every day when we were living in a condo back in like 2021. And I was listening to that. I was like abiding by that because, one, happy wife, happy life, right? So listen to your wife, right? And I listened to her voice. And when that was going off at 10 p.m., I started going to sleep on time. I was getting to bed by 10:30, 11 a.m. latest, because I was a night owl at the time, going to sleep at 1 or 2 in the morning. And I was brutally consistent with that. Now that I'm more consistent with like my strength habits, my nutrition habits, and even my sleep habits, I no longer need triggers. Everything's just subconscious to me. There might actually be some subconscious triggers that are still going off. So like when I press the red end button on a live stream, or if I'm on a coaching call or a Zoom call with my clients, whenever I press anything that's red, which is visual, or the click of my mouse clicking the red end button, I actually get to the floor and I foam roll, right? So I have right now these subconscious triggers that actually tell me you need to get moving, right? Okay, so and like I said, visual triggers, knowing how to schedule things out are really important for consistency. And number three, consistency really boils down to just choice, right? Sometimes I talk about this thing called your why, which is like, why do you want to be consistent? Why do you want to get in better health? And you can kind of go down this rabbit hole of a lot of triggering emotions and things that will help you to stay motivated. But I want to go away from knowing your why and just really saying to yourself that every day is a choice. You could be motivated by death, and some people are, which is like, if I died tomorrow, you know, how consistent can I be today? What would I be doing on my last day on earth? Or if I wanted to prolong my life, and I know that every day that I'm inconsistent is just pushing me closer to death, then every day is a choice for you. What do you want to do today? Do you want to go down the avenue of really crappy diet, going down this avenue of just sitting out on a sofa and just vegging out on a sofa and watching as many episodes of Netflix as possible? Or do I make the harder choice, which is eating cleaner, strength training more, turning away from these sedentary habits, and instead of like sitting on a couch, I instead decide to pick up dumbbells or go to the gym or get on a treadmill. I mean, dude, you can get on a treadmill, and I have a treadmill that you watch Netflix at the same time. So, kill two birds with one stone. Like I said, turning sedentary activities into active ones. But I always say, like, there's just fork in the road. Robert Frost, The Road Less Taken. It's like, which path do you want to take? Do you want to take the sedentary path where it's leading to declining health and more pain and more weakness and everything bad that's going to decrease your lifespan? Or do you take this harder route, which the harder route is harder right now, but it leads to the best views later? It leads to a more bright destination. So this is better health, better longevity, less disease, less hospitalizations, more memories with your families, better strength, less pain, more mobility. But this is the harder path. Like, you choose. This is your fork in the road. Okay. And you're looking at this fork right now. Look at it. Close your eyes right now. Visualize this path. This path right now, this sedentary path, looks easier. It looks nicer right now. But what it leads to is a treacherous downhill slope of declining health. This is the harder path. It looks more treacherous right now, but what it's going to lead to is the better views, the better destination, the better goals, everything I just mentioned. Your choice. It's a daily choice. I have a podcast with one of my friends who said this too, is that every day you have a choice. What are you going to do January 1st? Okay. And you start to lose some motivation February 1st. What are you going to do that day? Think every day in the morning, you have a choice. What is going to be your choice from here on out? All right. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope that you found this helpful. We went through a lot of strategies on pain relief, went through some strategies on weight loss, which I know that some of you guys have been really interested in that going into the new year. And then number three was how to be consistent. Okay. Like I said, I have a brand new program called the Neck and Back Pain Relief Kickstarter. The link is in the first comments. It's also in the description. And if you use the code NewYear50 before December 31st, you will get $50 off. And it will be less than a coffee a day. And it might be the right thing for you to get started on your pain relief journey. So take care, guys. I really hope that you found this helpful. Happy New Year's. This is the last live stream of 2025. I'll see you into New Year. Okay, take care.